Hey y'all, welcome back to Clove Room. I am a bleach blonde once again. And I talked about doing this for like months. And people were like, are you gonna do it or not? And every week it'd be a different, every day it'd be a different answer. It'd be like, I'd be gung-ho, I'd be like, I gotta get back to my warm blonde exposed roots. And then the next day, somebody would be like, are you still gonna do that? And I'm like, God, no. No, I can't damage my hair anymore. But I think actually my curls look great. Honestly, my curls look better than ever. But I also did a whole diffusion routine with the diffuser. My hair looks great, but everything was great. And then I pinned my bangs back, and then I said, I don't want to pin my bangs back to start the video because my hair looks so good. And then I should have known that once I even look at my bangs, if they're looking good, they will immediately look bad. So even with these creaseless hair clips or whatever, if I put anything on them, they will automatically just misbehave because they'll be like, what was that? Not good enough for you? Today, I have been doing my makeup in a very cute way. It's been really, really lovely. It feels like a routine that's just right. I feel like for a while I was really struggling with like, I don't want a ton of coverage on my face, but I also really want to cover up my stubble area, but I also don't want it to look cakey because I don't like the look of like cakey makeup. This is really the only part of my face that I have like any insecurities about. I mean, I don't say any, but like the rest of it, like I can just put something glowy on that doesn't have a ton of coverage and I love, love, love. But then this, I really don't love my stubble. And I really need to go back and get laser hair removal, but like laser hair removal places are like my least favorite type of places because it's like places that just won't give you a price. And, you know, you have to package or, you know, you say you're not interested and then they'll call you back and be like, actually, you found an additional discount. And I just like don't like it when things just aren't the actual price because it's all marketing. It's not like to help you out or get you a deal. So I just wish I could find a place that's like honest about their prices and not gimmicky and trans affirming that will zap all this off for an affordable price. That's all. Asking for way too much. I had been struggling because like I had been wearing a lot of makeup earlier this year because I just really was insecure about this. And it worked at covering this up really well, but then on the rest of my face, I just was like, I don't like this. I want like fresh skin because I like my skin for the most part. Like, I'm not saying it's perfect, but I don't mind it. It's just the stubble. So I've kind of found a routine where I can wear my skin very, very glowy. It looks really, really healthy and natural, but I still feel like I'm getting enough stubble correction for my liking. I also had been having longevity issues. I wasn't like super concerned about longevity in the past, but now that I work in office most days, I have just noticed it more and it bothers me more. It's not even like it has to last all day and look the same, but I would like it to at least still be on my face. At the end of a lot of days, I was like, did I even put on makeup this morning? So I found some really good fixes for that. I really found that I've been able to find a routine that makes me feel secure in my skin and like getting enough stubble coverage, but also still gives me like really, really fresh and dewy skin that lasts pretty well. It's not like bulletproof because I think there's things you have to give up in terms of having fresh skin for bulletproof, at least for me. It wears really well and it's a pretty nice routine. It does involve like a million steps, I have to warn you. This isn't like a official Clove Shelf or favorites video, but what I say when I do a video that has like a lot of specific products, and I do have a lot of specific steps in this routine, and I unfortunately have found they matter. I always recommend, like, if you want to try something, or if you're really influenced, I guess, if you will, over some stuff, always try stuff in your collection first, see if you can fit in something that works for you, because we most certainly have different skin, and different skin needs, so always look first in like what you already have, and even just like keep in mind that the stuff that works really well for me could definitely not work super well for you. But I really like the techniques and like process I figured out. So, you know, sub in what you want at your own convenience. If you do want to purchase something from the video, I do have affiliate links below in my description box, and I have YouTube shopping. I don't know. You can do that if you want to, and if you don't, that's totally cool. Honestly, I think it's kind of funny because my affiliate platform's just like probably about to kick me off. I haven't sold a product in years. I've been on ShopMy for like well over a year, and I think I sold I had like 3 orders. And then like 2 of those were like friends that asked for affiliate links. And if you are new, welcome. My name is Cam. I am a creator who loves to talk about beauty, but from a little bit more of an intentional perspective. I post infrequently. Whenever I have time, I try to upload, and I also am on Instagram if that interests you. That's also infrequent though. Just kind of doing my very best these days, as I hope we all are. But if you do enjoy this video, give it a like. That helps me out a lot. And subscribe if you want to see future infrequent content. The crux of this routine really is the base. The base is what I'm like most happy with. A lot of the rest of it is, I mean, it's like stuff I really like too, but that's like really the crux of it. And it starts actually with skincare. I have never been somebody who's like very particular about skincare. I just like to find what works for me and move on. I really love beauty, and I'm a beauty curious person. With skincare, I find it very utilitarian, and I'm not really out here lusting after skincare or really wanting to change up my routine. I like to have things in my routine that are very accessible, that I can get a lot of places, that if I do have to repurchase them often, they aren't super expensive. So a lot of it comes from like Ulta and like the drugstore. Like I do have some stuff from Sephora and I guess other niche brands. I like Phytosurgeon skincare a lot, but just keep that all in mind. Skincare has never been like something super sexy to me, but this morning routine that I have figured out, and I will say it is 7:42 at night, so it's not the morning right now. I'm just filming this right now. But this morning skincare routine has made my base so much glowier. I feel like lasts so much better. I feel like the makeup applies better. It's great because my skin has been dry Binks. There's your Jar Jar Binks reference for the video that I know we were all waiting for. So I have really figured out in the morning, I really need to like hydrate the out of my skin. And it's been working incredibly well. First thing I use, and this is after I shower. I like always shower in the morning. I just can't not shower in the morning. The first thing that I have absolutely been loving are these MEDICUBE Deep Vita C pads. So like these toner pads. They have vitamin, water, vitamin C derivative, and niacinamide in them. I had never used toner pads. I actually was influenced to buy this product in a very odd way because it's not actually the product that the person was talking about. If you follow the Jonesy Edit, I'll link her YouTube and Instagram below. If you like very chill vibes and a little bit more like conscious consumption and all of that, she's really great. I really like her. If you're looking for somebody who you can just kind of like relax and watch on YouTube, I highly recommend her. Why did I get this out before I was done talking about this? She was, I think, talking while the Sephora sale was going on about what she was going to repurchase. One of the things she was going to repurchase were the Innisfree version of the vitamin C toner pads, I think. And that kind of sent me down a rabbit hole of like, ooh, because I had just been noticing my skin just was so dull and like lifeless in the morning. And I was kind of curious about incorporating a vitamin C into my routine before. It's been a few years since I've used vitamin C consistently, but I remember when I did it worked really well. So I was like, I should, do a vitamin C again. And I think I was like making an order at Ulta at the time because I was actually probably about to buy the next product I'm going to talk about. And I noticed that they didn't have Innisfree on there, but they had MEDICUBE, another Asian beauty brand that had their own version of vitamin C pads. And these are amazing. I obviously can't, and I'm going to start doing them. I can't, vouch for the Innisfree ones. I don't know if they're like about the same or if there's any differences. But I have never had like a toner work this well, and I don't know if it's because of the pad like pushing it in. I will say I usually don't use cotton rounds when I use my toners, and that's because like even when I shave like super close to my skin, I still have pretty thick stubble in areas, and they will like tear the cotton pad. And I know there's like reusable cotton pads, but I tried those and I didn't love them. And this can tear a little bit on my skin, but it's not nearly as much, and it's like only a couple of things I really have to like pull out if it does. The soaked pad really helps like press the product in. I have been blown away by this product. Like, it really just gives me, like, dull skin in the morning. Like, D-O-L-L, not D-U-L-L. Sometimes I have trouble differentiating between pronunciations. But yeah, just do that and press this into the skin. I'm doing, like, my morning routine, and it's night. But I slept until... it's Memorial Day, and I slept so late into the day today because I just have needed to catch up on sleep. So I haven't really done like I just took my shower for the day and it's like 7 something, because mama's tired. But anyway, so that's why I'm doing all of this like now, and it helps with applying the makeup. It just gives me such like brighter skin, less dull skin, doll skin, the doll skin, I'm the doll. This product's a game changer. Again, I can't speak to like if these would be similar to like another brand. I may try another brand after this, or I may just repurchase these because I really do like them. And I do feel like they've really helped my makeup game, along with the next product we're going to talk about, which is the Bubble Cosmic Silk Hydrating Milky Toner. I love a milky toner. My favorite one is the Ilia one previously. I find this to give very close to the same effect as the Ilia one, obviously for a much more affordable price. And I think they're about the same size, even though the Bubble bottle is definitely smaller. That is my one complaint with this product. I've had it for a bit and I do use it like every day, if not multiple times a day. I like to use it at night sometimes too. Just like press this into the skin. Especially after the toner pads, it just gives me the most beautiful glowy skin. And it's like the best effect I've had. Because I tried the Bioma one that everyone really likes of the Hydrating Milky Toner. I did not like it nearly as much as the Ilia or as much as this one. I tried the Half Light one, or Good Light one. Good Light one. I actually wasn't super impressed with that one either. That one was even thinner. This one is just very, very thick for a toner. It has this really weird packaging that I will complain about because I have to wait a few minutes before I can close this back up. But yeah, it's this really thick texture. I think it's even thicker than the Ilia one, but it has the same kind of hydrating properties, and it's very, very affordable. I think it's less than 20 bucks, maybe less than 15. But I had tried Bubble before their cleansing oil, and I thought it was okay. But to me, it always read as such like a, I don't know, Sephora Kid brand, but at Ulta or Walmart or whatever. And I think one of y'all told me to try this when I was asking about milky toners to try. And I'm so glad you did, because this is great. And it's available at a lot of places. It's easy to get. I do wish, and I hope with its popularity, because I do think it's pretty popular, I hope they come out with a jumbo size. That would be super ideal. Because like this has lasted me an okay amount of time, and a little does go a good amount of way, but I would love to buy a jumbo size. And it wears beautifully under makeup, and I have this wonderful hydrated base now. And again, I've been dealing with very dry skin, so I really appreciate that. I'm not gonna apply this, but after that, I'll go in with just like a very natural finish sunscreen. I was using my Live Tinted Hue Guard. I used all the ones I had of that up. So I bought the CeraVe Ultra Light Moisturizing Lotion. It's night, basically, because it's been storming all day. And I'm not really planning to go back outside. So I'm not going to put on sunscreen. But this does go really well over this very, very moisturized base. I bring that up because one product that I have, and I don't have it with me, but it's the Pre-Cool Chemical Sunscreen, the Sun Shield. I had bought that to use as my makeup sunscreen, and it is like an absolute chop for me. It is very, very oily. It pills no matter what. Like if you have anything under it or anything over it, it will pill on itself. So I only use that if I'm like walking Dodger or need to do like an exercise outside or something, or walk outside, whatever. I'm not wearing any makeup. My big problem with a lot of sunscreens these days is that they try to do too much, and I just want a sunscreen that will like protect my skin and maybe provide some like very light moisturization. Definitely not dry my skin out, but I just wanted to kind of agree with everything else, because I feel like when sunscreens have super hydrating or dewy properties, they always swing way too much in that direction. Maybe it's because of filters or sunscreen or certain ingredients that are used in sunscreens. Yeah, they're not my favorite because they just do too much and they get way too oily, and it's really hard to control them. Where with products that just hydrate, like the toner or even the vitamin C pads, they just do the thing they're meant to do. Like, I don't know, a multi-use product is only useful to me if it does all those things really well and elegantly, I guess. And I feel like especially with that Pre-Cool sunscreen, it's like so dewy and hydrating. It kind of ruins anything else you would want to do with it. So I prefer something like this, just like a very boring sunscreen to go along with all of this. It almost like helps lock in that layer of skincare too, so that when I do proceed to makeup, it doesn't pill or anything. All right, after my skincare, I like to give it some time to sink in. So I'm going to do my brows. I know I'm going to do my brows on camera because Goldilocks is being brave today. I have been using two products for my brows lately and I've been very, very lazy with them and I have not wanted to spend much time on them. Definitely not like my favorite brow routine ever and I think it could be better, but for now this works just fine. I also just dyed my hair, so I don't think I'm going to change up my brow products. I think obviously I still have a good amount of root in my hair, so I think the dark brows are fine. But I've been using lately the Glossier Boy Brow in the shade Brown. I don't know if I've ever like actually used the brown shade of Boy Brow, which is funny for how much of a Glossier girl I was. And then I've been using it in conjunction with the Live Tinted HUEBROW, which is the clear brow gel from Live Tinted, which I really, really like. I was using the Glossier Brow Flick or the Ulta Slim Brow Pencil to fill in my brows, but I just like cannot be bothered to fill in my brows. Like it just, like spend time with it. I just hate doing it so much. I bought this Glossier Boy Brow to be my one and done brow product and that didn't work out for me. And it didn't work out for me because like this gets so smeary on me. It's a little too pigmented for my liking. It's getting better as it dries out a little, but as a one and done, I also didn't feel like I could actually shape my brows how I wanted to. And the thing I really love about the Live Tinted gel is that the applicator on it really allows me to do exactly what I want with my brows in terms of shaping. So I was kind of frustrated that I would use the Boy Brow as a one and done and they would always look a little too smeary or a little too undone or they wouldn't match. It was really hard to get my right brow, which always looks worse than my left brow, to match the really good left brow. One day I was like, I wonder if I could use this Live Tinted almost as like... It does help with the hold, I will say, because the Boy Brow, at least the tinted one, doesn't have a tremendous amount of hold, but really more as something just to shape and finish my brows. And I have found that it works really, really well for that. So I kind of wish Live Tinted would sell a version of this that had like a little bit of pigment in it. Like not too pigmented because like the Boy Brow, I feel like, is way too pigmented for my liking. So I don't think I would repurchase the Boy Brow, to be honest, because I don't like that it can't be a one and done, but I have liked using them in conjunction. They work well enough. So I'm going to do those really, really quickly, and we'll get back to eye makeup. I don't know why I started in the front. I literally never start in the front. I hate doing my brows on camera. This is so cursed. This is the worst thing I've ever done in my life. Okay, I'm not at all confident in how those turned out, but they look okay, I think. If you... I'm gonna ask a question. Also, I should have done my nails before this. Don't look at my nails. If you have... If you live in the Atlanta area and you know somebody who does brows, please let me know. Because I'm too much of a baby to, like, tweeze them. I have... I don't know, like, tweezing my own hair, like, actually makes me cry. I don't know what's wrong with me, but... if you have somebody who does brows in the Atlanta area who's like fairly not crazy expensive, because I looked at a couple of places, I was like, I mean, love and light to the brow girls, but I'm not paying like hundreds of dollars to do my brows, but maybe I have to? Is that how that works? I don't know. There's still stuff in that realm that I just am so unsure about. That I would really like somebody to help me with my brows because I want to tweeze them, honestly, a little bit more and get the tail a little bit more shaped, but I don't feel confident doing it on my own. Okay, let's do eyeshadow now. I always do my eyes before my base. That has not changed. I have fallen in love with an eyeshadow primer. And this begins a series of things that I either purchased when or received from Tom when they were in town. Tom visited me last month? End of April. Yeah. It was last month. It was so much fun. So much fun. But they actually didn't even bring the stuff. They shipped a good amount of stuff to me before they got here, and then it actually arrived the same day, which was kind of funny. Before they came, we were just on FaceTime, and they were like, I have this in my declutter bin. Do you want this? Do you want this? And a lot of it I was like, no, thank you. But a lot of it I did say, yes, I would like to try that. Maybe the most like low-key underrated thing that I do think has changed my makeup game that I got from that package is this Sigma eyeshadow primer. I have it in the shade Persuade, which is the pinky one, which is probably not the one I would have purchased, but I think I actually, if I was going to repurchase this, which I probably will when I run out of it, I think I would actually get this pinky one. It's really not like super pink. It's more just like brightening. I have been looking for a product like this for so long, and I guess I had this on my list to try. I just hadn't for whatever reason. Oh, it's amazing. If you are not aware, I have very, very dry eyelids, and I have pretty like, not just dry, but like when I do put too much powder or too much of a drying product on them, they can really be, like the dry patches and the texture can really be accentuated. So a lot of eyeshadow products just like don't work super well for me. This is a very hydrating base, and I do think it's only for a select amount of people, because at the end of the day, my eyeshadow will actually look even like a little creasy and like a little like oily, but like I love that because I would rather have that than super dry like textured lids, and this does such a great job of not enhancing any texture and actually making my lids look more like hydrated, I guess, which again is not going to be what everyone wants, but I absolutely love it. This is like a new holy grail for me, to be honest. I've never liked an eyeshadow primer this month. I also like that it gives you coverage. I feel like it works really well with cream shadows. It works really well with my powder shadows, and it just like at the end of the day, they don't look like super dry, but they're still on my eyelids. Like I wore this and like with an eyeshadow look, and then I played like 2 games of soccer in it last week, and my eyeshadow was still on at the end of the 2 soccer games, and it was like hot and humid and disgusting Atlanta weather outside. So that is saying something. This is amazing. I love her. Okay, something else Tom passed out on to me were these 2 Singe Beauty palettes. Singe Beauty is a brand I had been curious about. This one was a definite yes, I want to try that. This is the Succulent Dew palette. Very florally, springy, colorful. And then the one I've actually used the most that I was kind of unsure about even trying because it's so grungy, and I don't love grungy, mustardy, greeny eyeshadow. It actually makes me a little dysphoric. The Paisley Hoop palette. And I have like mixed things to say about this actually. Overall, I really, really like both of these enough that I am interested in purchasing from Singe in the future, especially if they do an all matte palette. I love this matte formula. It reminds me a lot of kind of the flexibility I can get from Viseart shades, and that they really just want to behave and like do what you want them to do, but they're more pigmented and even like creamier. I would say it's like a very creamy pigmented matte that will blend. So I have been obsessed with like this row, all these mattes. I've been loving them. I've been wearing them a lot. I have also found, I've done a few looks with this palette, and the colorful mattes in here, again, they just behave so, so well. They're very true to pan. All of these shades are very, very true to pan, which I really, really like. There's not like a lot of guesswork to do with them because they behave. Like this green, I have like used a similar green in other formulas that is like really patchy. Is that the right one? I guess both of these greens actually I used, but I used these kind of greens before, and they just don't show up true to color or to pan. They get really patchy. They're hard to build. These you can sheer out, you can blend them, but you can also really pack on the pigment. The shimmer formula I'm a little more mixed on. In the Succulent Dew palette, I find that both of these palettes have different shimmer formulas in them. I don't know if that's just like a vibe thing or if I'm actually picking up on there's an actual difference, but I really love these shimmers. They are very glittery, and they are very easy to do like a scattered effect, which is what I normally do if I use a shimmer. I'm not like the biggest fan of like really high voltage shimmers. That's not my favorite thing to wear on my eyes. I will do an all matte look before I would do that. Like every day I use mattes, and then sometimes I'll use like a very small amount of shimmer, and that's kind of my preference. This shade in particular, Mist, is so pretty. And that's like it at kind of full opacity. But like if I just like scatter it all over my lid, and I'll actually show y'all in the video. I feel like it's not doing it justice, but it just is like a really beautiful like goldy, pinky, I think there's a little bit of blue in there too, glitter. And I've really been loving that shade as like kind of like a finishing step for looks when I may not want like, well, I never really want like a full pigment shimmer, but I just want like a hint of it on my lid. I do not love the shimmers in Paisley Hoot as much. I find them to be a little bit, and it's not even more satin because they are glittery, but they're less like in this there's like a bunch of different color glitters, and it feels like the glitters are of different sizes. These, all of the glitters are like the same size, and the base pigment is like much, much heavier. So I do just feel like on the eye, I just don't love them as much. They look more almost like a matte shade with glitter in it or something. I don't know. There's something I really, and I was playing around with these last night too when I was having makeup playtime, and I kind of finalized my feelings on them. I really love the colors of shimmers available in here. Like I love the color Funky and Tie-Dye. I think they're really pretty, but there's something about when they're on my eyes. They also just don't like, like I don't know how to say it, but they don't look as like lived in. They look more like I can see them on top of my eyes. And that's just like not something I love with the shimmer. I don't know if I'm explaining that well. So this palette is kind of a mixed bag for me. Like I don't, like I probably, and I wouldn't have purchased either of these. I am happy I have them because especially like this matte formula in both of them is really, really beautiful. Honestly, with this Paisley Hue palette, I would have preferred, just for my preferences, I really wish there was like a warm, darker brown in here. Because I like to wear warm browns, like kind of like left of neutral warm browns most days. That's like kind of my daily kind of standard color range on my eyes. So I wish, like, I don't mind having like a cool tone brown, but I do wish there was like a really deep, rich, chocolatey brown. And I'll show you what I wish. Because this is the other thing I've been using a lot, the Viseart Neutral Mattes palette. This is a very loved palette. I actually had completely used up a shade that just wouldn't stop breaking apart. So I actually have a replacement shade in here from the Editorial Mattes palette, and then I obviously have very, very good usage on a lot of the other shades. This is something I really pull into every eye look because I just love the range of colors in here so much, and I find that a lot of palettes don't have them. Even though I really do love, especially this row of like almost like spicy warm browns, I do wish there was like a shade like this and even like a darker shade like that in the Paisley Hue palette, because as it is now, it's not like a one and done palette for me most days. Most days I want to add in something else. And I do think if it had more an array of those like warm matte, like deeper brown mattes, I would love it a little more. I'm thinking about depotting these just because like most days I'm just reaching for like a few shades in them. Like again, Mist is something I reach for a lot, but that's like the only reason I reach for this day to day, because it is a little too colorful for my like work makeup and just kind of what I prefer to do at like, you know, 6:30 a.m. on a weekday. That's my review. I would love to see Singe do like an all matte, like neutral palette though. That's always what I want. I always want more all matte neutral palettes because, again, that's clearly what I enjoy using. But we're just gonna do a little look today. I did want to mention, I've been enjoying like laying down colors with like a smaller brush. This is the Rougher 14, and then blending them out with like a clean being relative, because I'm really bad at cleaning my brushes, but at least a brush that doesn't have any like residual eyeshadow to apply on it, and blending it out with this Rougher 27 and kind of just doing that as I get more detailed. I've been really enjoying a very, very blended, blurred out look that has some like dimension to it. And actually I'm going to use the Ritual Defy Potted Gel Liner, or cream eyeshadow, whatever it is, the Black Orb Enigmatic eyeliner. This is actually something I purchased the full size of finally. I had sampled this and the Apis eyegloss when I did my Ritual Defy review. Recently, I really missed both of them. I still had sample of the eyeliner, but it was getting kind of weird in that packaging and it was hard to find. I did actually purchase the full size of both of these. Unfortunately, my $10 credit had like long since expired since I bought the sample pack, but that's all good. I've been loving having these. I'm not going to use this today, but the eyeglass is such an amazing one and done. I'm not a big one and done eyeshadow girl, especially with like glitter in it, but this eyeglass is like my ultimate one and done. So much so that Ritual Defy had a sale this weekend for Memorial Day, and I bought another shade of the eyeglass that I'm excited to try, and I bought a cream blush from them, which I've never tried a cream blush from Ritual Defy, but it's their more sheer dewy formula, and it's like this blush shade that I really, really like. It's like a, you know, a faded rose type thing. So I'm excited for those to come in. I have been using those a lot, and I will actually use the Ritual Defy liner today too, but I'm gonna stop talking and do the eyeshadow look. So I like to lay down rattan. I don't know if that's how you say that, but this lighter or warmer brown shade all over my lid, in the crease, and especially in the outer V, concentrating it there with that smaller, rougher brush. And then I'll just go in with a cleaned off 27, and really, really work that in to get like a really seamless blend. And I kind of do this with like everything I apply for the most part on my eyes nowadays. And I really do love the shade values she chose for these warmer browns and terracotta. I'm going to go in with that bricky terracotta color Corduroy. Why can I not pronounce anything in this palette? I'm going to go in on that same smaller brush, not blush. Kind of concentrate it in the outer V. Should I zoom you in? Probably. And I'm gonna go in with Earthy now, which is the deeper warm brown. On a slightly smaller brush. This is rougher 13. I love this shade. A warm brown that I love? You wouldn't believe it. I find this row of shades in Paisley Hue just like really makes my eyes pop too, which is nice. The baby blues. Okay, I think I'm actually good with that depth level for today. So I am gonna go in with the Ritual Defeat Potted Liner now. Again, this doesn't last the longest, and that was my main gripe in the review, and it's still kind of the gripe. But it is so easy to apply, and it's kind of mistake proof. Although I say that, and I'm sure I'm gonna mess it up now that I'm doing it on camera. But I don't know, there's like such an ease in building a wing with it, and I do find if you go over it a couple of times, the opacity, at least on initial applications, really, really good. I may just do like a baby wing for today. Although, is that baby wing? I guess for me. My wings always get carried away. But yeah, I usually do like the initial wing, and then I'll go over with a little bit more. Okay, we're gonna call it a win there. Yeah, I don't want to mess with this anymore. Okay, now I am going to... I think I really like how this looks with just the matte shades, obviously. Just like a really nice warm look, and I love the wings, but I do want to add a little bit of glitter, so I'm going to go in with Mist from Succulent Dew. And I'm just picking up like a... I mean, I picked up probably a little bit more than I wanted, but I'm just really going to lightly tap that all over. I'm going to use a clean finger to diffuse it even further. Same thing on the other eye. Yeah, and doing that, it just gives this like really beautiful scattered effect. And I just find I can't get the same effect with the Paisley Hue shadows. I have been enjoying both of these palettes for the parts of the palettes that I enjoy. I'm gonna tightline with the Westman Atelier Kohl eyeliner. Mine is getting very short. I love this eyeliner. It's so easy. It's non-irritating. Very easy to smudge too if you want to do that. Lately I've just been tightlining with it. It doesn't last all day, but it's fine. And I really like the color. And then I'm going to use Westman Atelier mascara. Still absolutely loving this. I just bought my second tube of it. I'm scared to buy the full size because I'm worried it's going to last the same amount of time but maybe not be as good, because sometimes I have found before that I like the mini version of a mascara better than the full size. The full size is so expensive, so I think I may just buy the mini size. Although I wish it would come out with the brown shade in the mini size. That would make my life. But I have been enjoying a black mascara more. And I did repurchase my same mascara in the brown shade, and I need to return it because, like, I don't know if they messed with the formula or I just am completely in love with the Westman Atelier that anything else looks like crap. That was my, like, perennial favorite, and I feel like my last 2 tubes now of the same mascara in brown have just been so weird and not nearly as good as I remember it. I just applied a grippy, sticky primer, whatever you want to say. It's from a brand that I don't really feel like supporting or showing on the channel, But I have found, kind of unfortunately, because it's like an added step, but for longevity, a gripping primer actually really does help. As it turns out, they're not just hyped up for no reason, like some things are. I have gotten a lot more wear out of my makeup after incorporating a grippy primer. It's something that I've started to go through, like, not quickly, so it's something I like to buy from the drugstore. But, I don't know, shopping at the drugstore is kind of shopping anywhere is a minefield these days. And not that I, like, completely endorse and love all the companies I previously used in this video, but it's definitely from a company that just, like, whatever. So, use that. Next step, I am going to use the Ritual Diffuse Creature of Light Primer. This has been a favorite. I will say, the one thing about this, it can sometimes catch under your skin, especially if it's not properly moisturized under it, which is odd because I feel like it also helps moisturize the skin. It definitely makes your skin glowy, but I have just noticed I actually really have to make sure I go in with good skincare for this to look its best. Because if I rely on this too much for the hydration, it will not look great on dry patches and not blend onto dry patches, which is kind of odd. But if I just make sure my skin has a good skincare on it, which, you know, you probably should anyway for makeup application, I haven't had any issues, and it just looks so good. I just find the Ritual Diffuse complexion products, because I'm going to also use the concealer in a bit, they just give this texture to the skin that's, like, unreal, and, like, not like anything else I've used. This is such a random reference, but if you've seen Tron Ares, I think it's Greta Lee is in that movie. Yes, it was Greta Lee. Her skin in that movie, I like still think about because it just looked so blurred and perfected, but like glowy, but almost like it was being low lit, except nothing else in the room was being like low lit, just her. I don't know how to describe it. And I've been like thinking about it ever since, and I didn't know if it was just movie magic. I'm sure some of it is, but the only way I've gotten that kind of low lit look in my skin is with those two Ritual Diffuse products, and of course Creature of Light, and then this concealer on top of it. So what I have been doing lately, sometimes I'll use my hands with this, but lately I've been enjoying just doing like a pump into my hand. That's probably a little too much, but that's fine. Pump into my hand, going in with like a really dense foundation brush. This is the 106 from BK Beauty. Grabbing a little of it, kind of pressing it into the brush, and then like sweeping it on the top half of my face, basically. And getting the rest and doing the same on the other side. Not to pair Ritual Diffuse marketing claims, but to me it doesn't feel like just an illuminator. Like the name Creature of Light, like I kind of get it because it does just like give your skin like a really beautiful finish. Complexion makeup on top of it too just looks absolutely unreal. So I've been really enjoying that a lot, and I have it in the shade Glowing Creature, which is like the second. There's 4 of them, and this is like the penultimate deepest shade. The shades are pretty flexible. Obviously I'm pretty fair, and this more golden shade works really well for me. I think the bronzing shade would be the only shade to like actually show more of a pigment on my skin, but I continue to really, really love this. And on top of it, I'm going to go in with a couple of color correctors. One is the CALIRAY Hideaway corrector in the shade Sunlight. I bought this actually when Tom was in town and we were at a Sephora. It's a really unique color. It's like a salmony, peachy gold. And I was like, ooh, that looks interesting. Because one thing I have noticed is that sometimes my pink corrector can be a little too stark. I will say, especially with the KOSAS, only use a little bit of this if you use it for any sort of correction. So I do think this can help with stubble correction, at least for me. I just wouldn't overuse it. And I have lately, my trouble with stubble correction is this. When I've used like traditional peachy correctors in the past, they give me this peach beard that's like really hard to get rid of, and they just make the bottom half of my face way too dark, which is why I switched to pink correctors. And I do find the NYX pink corrector in the cream tube, I guess, is the best color I've found, but I don't always love that formula because I do like something more liquidy because I feel like it lays better over stubble. So I had previously been thinking about buying the KOSAS peach shade and mixing it with the lightest shade, which is Magic. But then I swatched this at Sephora, the CALIRAY one, and this looks so unique and interesting that I wanted to try it. And I really like the formula. It's very, very serum-y, but it does last a good amount of time, and it does like dry down and not get like everywhere, which is a problem I've had with specifically like peach correctors before. And what I really love about this is on more low-key days, I will just wear this actually as my only like coverage product. I'll put it under my eyes and then around my stubble area, and I feel like it blends in so well, but does color correct my stubble enough that I can just wear it. But then on more high maintenance days, I will mix these two, and I only put this in spots I want to brighten. And then I will go over top with the Ritual Defeat Concealer. So that's what we're going to do today. And again, I use a very small amount of the KOSAS Pink Corrector, and only on spots I want to highlight. I have found it's nice incorporating a peach one to mix in with the pink, because I can use this all over my stubble area. And I will say the CALIRAY formula is a lot more serum-y and not as highly pigmented as the KOSAS. So like you will still see the effect of the pink even though I'm applying way more of the CALIRAY than I am the KOSAS. But I don't put the pink on my actual mustache area because I don't like brightening that area. And I find this placement works really well for color correcting for me. And I think the warmth of the CALIRAY, it's just like this really interesting, almost like creamsicle golden-y tone that again looks really good on my skin and it blends in really well, but it does give me some really nice stubble correction too. So I've been really, really impressed, and I kind of want to try more from CALIRAY now. Because it wasn't a brand that was like super on my radar, but I think a couple of people commented and suggested I try these correctors, and I have been really liking them. I still definitely get the brightness from the pink, even though I'm using a very small amount of it, but I do feel like the peach kind of helps it blend in too. So that's how that looks once it's blended in, not too stark. And I don't like desperately need something over it, but what I have been finding is specifically with the Ritual Defeat Concealer, I have it in the shade 116, I believe. This is a little too dark for me. I wish I had a lighter shade, but that's okay. I put it a good bit on the back of my hand, and then what I do is I go in with that same brush I use for the Creature of Light, and I really like get this on the brush and mix it in with the brush. And I use this almost as a veil over my entire face. And again, it gives me that low light look I really love that Ritual Defeat products seem to give. And kind of meshes everything together really well. And also it helps everything dry down. This concealer specifically. I've also done this with my Catrice concealer recently, and I like the color of that one better for my skin tone right now, but I do find it doesn't give me as great of a like texture and like finish as this Ritual Defeat one. Okay, so this is the base, and I just feel like it's such a nice combination of like feeling like covered and like still looking like skin, but also feeling like I have enough coverage on to be comfortable. So we love that. We still need to set in all that. A couple of products that Tom also gifted me from the declutter bin, I have not been able to stop using these, are the two cream sticks from from Violette FR. I have Louise and Marnie. Both of these are blush shades, and I think they could be blush shades on like certain skin tones, especially, I mean, Louise I do use as a blush, but Marnie I've been using as a bronzer. It's definitely a deeper blush, so I do kind of have to be careful. Again, I do kind of the same thing. I've been really loving this BK Beauty brush, by the way, the 106. I've been using it on a lot of different steps, and I love doing this kind of like prime the brush method or whatever you want to call it, where I really work the product into the bristles, especially with these Violette FR sticks. And this formula I love. I love that it is like not super dewy but not drying. It is kind of that cream to powder thing, but it feels a little waxier, which I actually really, really like. And I feel like it just gives like a really beautiful look to the skin. I love the shade Marnie for a bronzer. It's definitely like kind of rosy red based. Like since Tom left, I've barely not used this in a look. Both of these. I am just really, really impressed by them. I will say I have tried her eye paints too. Tom passed those on to me, and I bought one of the newer Plume eyeshadows when Tom was in town too. And I have not been as impressed with those products. I don't know if I love her eye products for me personally and my very, very dry textured eyelids. But these blush sticks, or bronzer stick in my case, I do just absolutely adore and have been obsessed with and have been using a lot. All right, now we're going to go in with Louise, which is, like, you can see how much I've used this. I will say there was definitely some use on it when I got it, but not that much use. It's like just like a really beautiful beigey blush is how I would describe it. It's very neutral, very pretty. And I like a good amount of blush. Obviously, I did not work that into the brush like I wanted to, but that's fine. I'm gonna put that all on. One technique I've really been loving, it's not as much the powder, but I guess the powder matters too. I've been really loving using an oversized eyeshadow brush as my powder applicator. This is the Refer 16. I think any oversized eyeshadow brush would do. But I just love how it helps me really concentrate the powder where I want it. So it doesn't get rid of the glow everywhere, but it does help me set the areas I would like to set. And it just gives me more kind of control over it, which I really have been enjoying. And I feel like, again, it's been helping my makeup looks last where they need the help, but it's also not been making them look too matte. I was previously using like a powder puff, which I still will use for like more glam looks. But I did find that just made like everything look way too powdery for my liking. And this technique and using like kind of like a lighter weight pressed powder, I just feel like helps lock everything in, but it doesn't look as powdery. For my lips, I have been loving, again, Tom passed this on and then it's something I bought while Tom wasn't down, the Hung Van Gogh Follow the Natural Shape lip liner. This has been like a slow burning banger. Like at first I was like, I don't know about this. It's like a very light pinky beige color, and it's pretty cool toned on me. It is the perfect lip contour and like perfect thing to overline my lips with. And this is a long wearing lip. I need to finish talking before I do this. This is a long wearing lip liner, which isn't always my gig, but I really, really like this formula. It does stick around like pretty much like all day unless you eat like a greasy meal, I guess. I don't know. Whenever I eat, I feel like no matter what, it comes off my lips because I have very, very small lips. But I have found this has really great staying power throughout like the workday, and it doesn't dry out my lips or anything, and is easy to apply. It doesn't get like caught or like patchy when you try to blend it. It's just really, really nice. And I found the color to, again, just be like the perfect lip contour. That is the Hung Van Gogh applied. I treated myself to a very bougie lipstick while Tom was in town from a brand I don't think I've ever bought from, actually, except to gift to Tom, actually. I wanted just like a very good go-to like work lipstick, not like a tinted lip balm or like a lip oil or anything, like an actual traditional bullet lipstick that was kind of my lips but better, very neutral. And we went to a place that had a Chanel beauty boutique, and I bought a lipstick there, and I have been absolutely loving it. I just like really was into the idea of having like a signature lipstick. So I have been using the shade Nonstop. This is the Rouge Cocoa lipstick formula in the shade 105 Mayflower. Nope, Mayfair, not not Mayflower. Mayfair, not Mayflower. This was just kind of like a bougie little treat to myself, and I have been using it a lot and really, really enjoying it. It's a very traditional lipstick formula, but it does stick around a good bit. I really like, especially applying it at first kind of like normally and then like really pressing it in with my fingers. That in conjunction with the Hung Van Gogh lip liner makes it last like a pretty long time, and I just think it looks really, really pretty on me. It's really just like the perfect like my lips but pinky beigeier tone, which is exactly what I wanted. And it does have that Chanel scent, but I do not mind it at all. And I just love that I have this lip combo now because it's just such a great everyday lip combo that I can put on at the beginning of the day, and it like makes it through at least like lunchtime, which is really nice. Survives like drinking copious amounts of coffee in the morning. And it just looks so natural. It truly just looks like my lips, but better. On days I want to amp it up just a little bit, I've been going in with this e.l.f. lip oil. I don't really love e.l.f., but I do have this, and it does look pretty on top. It is the shade Chocolux, and it's like a brown glittery lip oil, although the glitter really doesn't show up that much. And that's a lip combo. It's very, very pretty. All right, final step is the setting spray. And this actually is very, very key to getting my glow to last all day and just to lock everything in and kind of melt it together. This is the One Size Powder Melt Glass Setting Spray. Very, very hyped. A lot of people I follow really love this, so I wanted to try it. It's a little bougie for my taste with setting sprays because I do go through them kind of quicker than I would want. This is the best setting spray I've ever tried, actually. I do feel like it helps actually set and make the makeup last longer, but I also feel like it makes my skin like super glowing. It makes the glow that I have put down actually last all day instead of kind of like breaking up and getting dry. So I am really loving this, and I will repurchase it when I'm done, which I hate because it is really pricey, but it's great. I have found the key with that is to make sure you use like a little fan like this to soak it in. Alright, bangs I don't think look their best and are kind of driving me insane, but that's fine to end the video. Thank you all so much for watching. It was fun to get back into filming. I hope to have more content for y'all soon. I hope you enjoyed my little complexion everyday makeup routine. She is looking glowy. She is looking blurred. She's looking good. She's looking good. Thank you all so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, give it a like. It helps me a lot in the wild, wild west of YouTube algorithm. Subscribe if you want to see future videos. And thank you all so much for being here. We're gonna be okay. Bye, y'all.